Good morning, Pickens County. We're here at the Midway Recycling Center, just north of Pickens, just above Pickens High School, next to what used to be called Master's Grocery. This center is a heavily used center as growth has happened in this area. But you'll remember from some of our other videos that we've done some improvements at these centers to try to make them safer. We had an attendant that was struck by a vehicle a couple months back, and that attendant has recovered and has gone through therapy and has returned to work, thankfully. But we felt like we had to make some improvements to make them safer for the attendants, for the public, for the drivers themselves, and also to try to make them work better. So we're going to walk through the Midway Center, and I'm going to show you a few improvements that we've made since it opened based on your feedback, and also talk about the different ways that you need to pack your vehicle to be ready. But anyway, we'll talk about our first stop here in a moment. First stop here at Midway is the metal bin. Now, metal, when we're talking about things that go in this bin, we're talking about just little pieces of metal you might have, small appliances, things of that nature. There's some folding chairs in there now, a broken little swing, things that are metal, including tin cans. Not drink cans with the slightly rounded bottoms, but more the classic, you need a can opener to open them. Those type of cans can go in here. And the market for this type of recyclable is actually very good, and it helps us when we sell these types of recyclables. It helps us to make money to sustain the rest of the program. So we do need your recyclables here at Midway. Remember though, when you're packing your car, and one thing we'll talk about again as we go through, is since this is the first thing you come to at Midway, it should be the last thing you put in your car or the top thing you put in your truck bed, so that when you pull up, you won't have to sort through it. You'll have it right there handy. You can dispose of it and move through efficiently. So remember that. It's sort of what we've talked about before, is the last thing in to your vehicle will be the first thing out. We'll talk about that some more in a moment. Next here at Midway is our brown goods container. Now this is for homeowners. It's not for contractors. It's not for commercial. It's not for any kind of builder out there or anything like that. This is for just the regular homeowner in Pickens County, the regular tax-paying citizen, to get rid of broken furniture or small amounts of lumber. You can even put up to a wheelbarrow load of grass clippings or loose leaves or those sorts of things in here. So this is brown goods. These are important, and this is a good place to dispose of them here at Midway. And so the next stop here at Midway is cardboard. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind here is that you've got the big concrete area you can pull off on, in addition to the unloading zone that you see out here. Please feel free to pull up here if this helps, and it helps to free up space. But the cardboard in this area is right before we get to the compactors, which is the most heavily used area. So one thing I would ask you to do is break down your boxes ahead of time. One thing that you can do that really slows down the operation here and makes it inefficient is when you pull up with a bunch of cardboard boxes and you start trying to break them down here. But they need to be broken down because that saves space, but try to do that at home. It'll save room in your car too. Cardboard here at Midway. All right, next here at Midway is the trash compactors. You remember there's two of them. We always have one open and one closed, and that's on purpose so that we never have both getting full at the same time. We always have an empty ready for when the other one gets full. But here, one of the things that you, the public, have given us as feedback in this process that we've taken seriously is we have more than doubled the area for the unloading zone here. So there's 3 different places that you can park to unload for the trash compactor, whichever one is open. You can pull up here on the concrete. You can pull in the unloading zone to the left, but you can also, if you need to, there are parking places over to the right for you to pull into that we've added since you gave us good feedback. So thank you for that feedback. 3 different places you can pull over. The one thing you shouldn't do though is stop in the travel lane, because some folks are going to need to get to the next stop. So keep that in mind. Thank you for the feedback, and please use all of the area here to keep things flowing at Midway. Right after the trash compactors at Midway is your cooking oil, your paint exchange, your oil filters, your used motor oil. All of those can go here. Feel free to pull on up next to it if you need to. Remember, this is going to be one of the most heavily trafficked areas in the Midway Recycling Center, so don't be afraid to use the parking places over there to the right, the left, or up here on the concrete safely working out of the traffic lane and dispose of your cooking oil and your oil filters and things like that. So now we're going to move down to the lower part of the center, which is the newest part of the center. We took some of the congestion out and put it down at the bottom for some of the recyclables, and we'll talk about those in a moment. We're down here in the recycling area, which was moved away to relieve some congestion up top. But one thing I'm noticing here the last few times I've been here is that people are stopping and not realizing that they can go all the way up. So please do remember, you've got 3 different locations you can park up near the compactors. Take advantage of those locations, because if you stop the minute you can right beside the compactor, you're backing up traffic and creating a little bit of a problem. So remember that you can pull up to the right, you can pull up to the concrete, or you can stay in that unloading zone on the left. Just I would stress that at Midway, because I know this one is particularly tight footprint. But now that we're down here at the bottom, the new area, we're down here at the recycling center. You can bring your used batteries, not lithium batteries. Those need to go back to the Home Depots, the Lowe's, those places, because you can't dispose of a lithium battery down here. But your e-waste, paper, aluminum cans, and plastic, all down here. So when you're thinking about packing your car, again, these need to be some of the first things you put in your car. The first thing should probably be plastic, then your aluminum cans, then your paper, any e-waste you have, any used batteries you have, and then after that would be the trash and the other things up top. So remember, last in to your car will be the first out of your car. And that'll make this all work more efficient. Please keep giving us your feedback. We're going to adjust these centers, all of the 8 centers, until we get them working as best as they can. And we appreciate your patience and all of the good feedback you've given us. And at the very end of the recycling area down here at the lower part of Midway is the tire bin. Now, this is for, again, regular individual citizens that may, for whatever reason, have a tire they need to dispose of. You're limited to 4 per day. It's hard to imagine a scenario where you'd end up with a lot of tires unless you were a commercial establishment. And if you're a commercial establishment dumping your tires here, you're stealing from your customers, because you collect the fee that the state says you can collect to dispose of the tire, and then you're not disposing of them properly if you put them here. So we're watching that, and we're going to catch you if you're doing that to the commercial establishment. This is for the regular homeowners, not for any commercial. So keep that in mind here at the tires. As we're watching folks come through here at Midway, I noticed that the attendant's hard at work. This is a good attendant that really works hard here at this recycling center. But there's some misunderstanding about what the attendant's job is. So people think that the attendant should be helping them unload their vehicle, and quite frankly, that's not what they're here for. If there's an elderly person or a person that's somehow mobility limited and they can help, they're willing to do that. But their primary duty is to make sure that the center is operating correctly, that the compactors are not full, that the bins are not full. They're calling that information in for any breakdowns or any problems that we might have. So they're really here also to keep the recycling clean. So if they see people dump something in the recycling that doesn't go there, they're supposed to be able to get that and keep our recycling clean so that we can resell it on that secondary market. So remember, the attendants are here for very important work, but they're not necessarily here to help someone like me unload heavy items out of their vehicle. You got to remember, these attendants, a lot of them are retired individuals, and they don't need to be doing a lot of heavy lifting. They're here more to make sure that the center is operating efficiently and safely. Ask them, if you need to, about the better way to handle coming through here. They'll know the places that you should park and the places that you shouldn't park. And they're the best experts on how these centers should operate, and I've certainly been listening to them. So thank you, Pickens County. We appreciate your effort. Keep your feedback coming as we work on our sustainable routes.